This is Dr. Troy Fullerton with Bilingual Barrier Busters, and tonight I want to talk about the past. That is, I want to talk about how we talk about the past tense that is, in both Spanish and English, and how they differ in what we do about it. Now, English has what we call the simple past tense. Only it's not as simple as it looks, because we have a list of irregular verbs in Spanish as long as my arm. What makes a verb regular in English? Well, in English, if we form the past tense of a verb by adding ed to it, and we also make our past participle, that's the form of a verb that we use with a helping verb, like have or has, and we form it with an ed too, well, then it's a regular verb. So I look, I looked, I have looked. Looked is a regular verb. We play, we played, we have played. Played is a regular verb. But what about the verb to write? I write, yesterday I wrote, therefore I have written. Write, wrote, written. That's an irregular verb. I'm not going to park there. We can do another video just on that subject, but that's what makes a verb an irregular verb in English, and like I said, we've got a lot of them. But there's another thing that English leaves out. Have you ever noticed how when we want to talk about something in the past as something that used to happen or would occur or was going on, we have to qualify it, just like I just did. We say, I used to play at the park. I would play at the park on Saturdays. We were going to the park every Saturday there for a while. Why do we do that? Why do we have to have that qualification? Well, that's because English does not have what we call an imperfect tense. An imperfect tense is, by the way, English is kind of an oddball as far as Western languages go because we don't have an imperfect tense. But that's when we're talking about something in the past that was going on or something that was in progress at the time that we're looking at in our mind's eye when we look at the past. Oftentimes, the imperfect tense is used to set the backdrop for something else that happened. We used to talk about what kind of clothes people were wearing, what the weather was like, what the date was, what the time was. We do that in Spanish all the time, but in English we can't do that. I want you to look at the difference between these two sentences. I went to that school yesterday. I went to that school when I was a kid. Now, what's the biggest difference between the two? Well, the first one, I'm telling you that something happened, and I can describe the situation. The second one, I'm telling you of something that used to occur or would go on. We handle that in